Welcome back, YouTube. Well, I got a special treat today. So, a little product review for you guys. Some of you may know I complain about it in videos occasionally. I'm not a big fan of basing because it takes time if you do it in traditional methods. And basing is like painting. You gotta spend a decent amount of time on it to make it look good. And usually when I'm done painting a unit, I don't want to spend any more time on it. I just want to get it table ready. So I don't do a lot of good basing. I can do good basing if I want to. It's just most of the time I don't want to. I'll put down a ground layer and then some flocks and some tufts and maybe some rocks if I'm going all out and paint the rocks nice. And then that's it. I've tried pretty much every traditional quote unquote method of basing. I've done glue, lay down a layer of glue and then sand and then, different levels of grit and grain for your base, and then paint it, then wash it, then dry brush it, and then flock it, then tuff it. I've done all that. And then I kind of moved away from that, and then I went on to a more simplified method of laying down basing product, such as Vallejo thick mud and diorama basing material, which is a more smoother texture essentially of this. It's acrylic base, but you have to paint it on, and it does need to be manipulated. The ground texture stuff's a little bit easier than the thick muds, and they have a lot of colors, in quote unquote theaters to choose from: European, Russian, deserty, snow. I mean, you name it, they have a lot. And AK Interactive has comparable products. I haven't used the AK Interactive stuff, but I heard it's slightly better than the Vallejo stuff. But you got to paint, you got to manipulate it, you got to get it into every little crack and crevice. And with especially metal miniatures with raised bases, with the raised platforms where the feet sit on, it can be quite tricky to get it exactly where you want without actually covering up the miniature. Getting a little bit on shoes and feet are okay, because your shoes and feet will be dirty and whatnot, but you don't want to obscure like pants and stuff with the stuff. So I've done that. Oh no, I didn't let it dry like an idiot. But yeah, that still takes time though, because you lay that down and then you got to dry brush it or paint it, and then you got to lay down a layer of glue, and you got to flock it, tuff it, you put rocks on it, whatever it is you want to do with it. So that takes time too. Not the biggest fan of that method. A little bit better than the traditional method of laying down kitty litter or baking soda or anything like that, or just fine sand. So what I found, and obviously you guys can see it right here, is Geek Gaming Scenics. Now, Luke APS has had a company for a while in the UK. And he makes a lot of terrain and basing products. And he has a line called Ready Base stuff. And he has a bunch of different flavors. I mean, Mediterranean, deserts. I mean, I got this like high alpine stuff right here that I haven't opened. And he just has all of it, like even like sci-fi stuff like Mars, lunar landscapes, whatever. The problem is it's really hard to get in the States, or it was. You'd have to order it from the UK, pay exorbitant amount of shipping, and wait forever for it, right? That was a big problem. Well, 3 to 6 months ago, I noticed Geek Gaming Scenics opened up a US store. So they have an online store that ships from the US now. So you can get their full product roster from the United States. So I went ahead and took the plunge. I got 3 or 4 different flavors of their ready base material. I got the Mediterranean, the Rocky Desert, and the one I just showed, that hillside, that like high alpine looking stuff, summer high alpine. And I just have been using it for the first time on these Persians. Now, the one in front of you is the Rocky Desert. It's hard with the Persians because they fought in like so many different areas. They fought in Greece. They fought in, they fought in the Levant. They fought in, Turkey, modern day Turkey, Egypt. It's just so hard. So I more or less got this based up for what Galgamela would look like, even though my whole army won't be fighting in Galgamela all the time. But that's just what I decided to do. And holy crap, this stuff is good, guys. If you're in the United States now and you're like me and you hate basing, or you're tired of basing, or you don't like doing it, but you still want your miniatures to look decent, I can 100% recommend this stuff. This stuff is good. And I just did a simple application here. I did buy the fast drying basing glue, and I 100% recommend this. If you're gonna do this, don't think it's just PVA. It's actually different. It's a lot easier to spread than PVA, and it does dry a little bit faster and harder than PVA. I don't know what it is, but this is different than PVA glue. This is some special formula he made himself for his product, and it should be used with the product. And I put a pretty thick coat on, but it's not that bad. It spreads a lot easier than PVA glue. It's really easy to spread with an old brush. You just spread a nice good thick coat on, and then you put your basing material in a Tupperware, such as so, and you just slosh it around and make sure everything gets filled out on the base. And I can tell you right now, it looks good. This cut my basing time by at least 50%, if not more. I just knocked out 2 full units of infantry in 15 minutes. Before, I would have had to there had been drying time and different applications of dry brushing and washes and gluing and blah, blah, blah. And it would have taken me a decent amount of time to get stuff based. I mean, and I'll show off one of them here. And they're still drying. I just did this like 20 minutes ago. And you can go through and touch it up if you need to, but I haven't seen a need to. It fills out really good because it's so multi-dimensional. He has grit of every composite you can think of to in this mixture that just gets into every nook and crevice and just fills everything out. So if you got glue touching it, it's going to hit. And you can see here, there's a little spot there that I missed. That's because I didn't put glue on that spot. But everywhere else I put that basing glue on, holy crap, it just adhered to like crazy. And what's really nice is it gives it a variation too, where you're just where you're just dipping the miniature in the mixture and kind of gently sloshing it around in there. There's a lot of variations. Some of these bases I did are more rocky, some are less rocky, some are more sandy. But they all blend in really good together. And if you really wanted to make them look even a little bit more fancy, I didn't do this with this because it's rocky desert. There's really no vegetation in rocky desert. You can add tufts to this. So if you wanted to add tufts to this, you could do that. And I think that would just like over the top, just bring it out. You got really good above tabletop standard basing. I typically do tabletop standard, and this is better than tabletop standard. So I know all the guys in the UK, you guys already know about this. I know Leon T66, he did a video, pretty much the same video I did, or I should say I'm doing the same video he did, reviewing and how he uses it. And yeah, I can highly recommend it. Get the basing material, get the glue. Highly recommend this glue. I can already tell you I'm going to be buying a shit ton of this. And your production time is going to go up. And if it doesn't, I don't know, you're a better man than me, because I tried to get basing down as fast as I could without using a ready-made product like this, and this cut it down in half. Even using the Vallejo or AK Interactive basing materials and then adding tufts and flock to that, this cut that down by half. So highly recommend it, guys. If you have any questions, or I guess if you want me to do a tutorial on how to do it, it's pretty straightforward though. And there are other tutorials online on YouTube for it. I could do one, but just let me know. So till next time.